Hey guys, ILene Vick here for teaching about coloring with ILene Vick. It is Sunday, August 8th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm live. Welcome, welcome. Come on in, relax. If you're a colorist, color along. Join the conversation. If you're not a colorist, come on in, watch, enjoy, say hello. Everybody's welcome. So on Facebook, this is live for 3 hours, and then it goes to video on Facebook. And then on YouTube, I upload it to YouTube, and my peeps can enjoy it there as well. Alrighty. So come on in, sit right down, baby, let your hair hang down. Oh. Let's have fun. Okay. So do me a favor when you pop in, is just please say hello. That way I know I can see comments. Every once in a while Facebook gets wonky. And I can see people in the room, but I can't see comments. Melba's saying hello. Hi, Melba. Oh, Melba. How are you doing? Excuse me. How is your daughter doing? So my main coloring tonight is going to be out of Fantasia from Nicholas Chandrawienata. Sarah, hello. And I want to show you something real quick from my Adorable Animals Grayscale. All right, let me curl this backwards. So I went ahead and I added, hello Wanda. Gee Wanda, let me guess what you've been doing today. First of all, did you have fun last night? And did you get to dance? Melba says her daughter's doing great. Thank you. My allergies are kicking my tush. Okay. Gosh, that looks like green. Oh, Wanda says no dancing. Oh, it was a band, not my cup of tea. Okay. Wanda, are you having fun with your Brett Funners? So glad to see Melba tonight. Okay. Thump, 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 thump. Well, Melba, I know that you've been busy for quite a while now, so I'm glad when you can make it in here, sweetie. Oops. Okay, so I want to show you what I've done here. This is from the Adorable Animals Grayscale, and I finished it the other night, and I'm doing the pirate now. But I want to show you what I'm doing with the border. And what I decided to do is to put a brown border on it. Hold on, let me change something on my lighting and let's see if we can get that glare. All right, we'll do it that way. Can everybody see that? Okay. Zoom in. So I put brown on the border, and this is with my alcohol marker, so you can see that on the back. And what I want you to realize, brown is a great color for a border. I use black a lot. Don't forget your colors. And when I put the alcohol marker on, it streaked a little bit, which is fine. That's what I wanted. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and color in some streaks on this brown. And then what I'll do is I'll just take my finger and I will smooth that out. And what I'm doing is I'm using a dark brown here. Zoom out. So I wanted to show you this. If you want to go ahead and finish up your piece and add a border, here's an idea for you. I think this is a Brett Funner. So I wanted to show you this. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. I wanted to show you this as an idea to your piece. And again, I'm coloring with colored pencil. Hi, Mary. I'm using colored pencil over marker. Now, on these corners, I'm going to go ahead and... Hi, Pearl. Pearly. Now, if you want to go ahead and color in a corner, let me show you how I'm doing that. I'm just adding a dark line on that. Angela Campbell. Zoom out. Hello, Sandy. Sandy, let me know when you get your book in. We've got about 4 or 5 other people that have ordered it as well, so we can do a neat little color along. Rita from Guatemala. Guatemala and Santa Fe, New Mexico. Okay. It's the Christmas Florals Pearl. The one that Sandy got for our group. Sandra got for our group. Several of you have ordered that book. Doo-doo-doo. Now, this is a ridiculously simple border. Pearly got hers today. Good. And as you can see, I'm just sketching in. Speaking of which, I probably should have done this with my charcoal pencil. Souls. Oh, this is fun. I think I get too much fun out of some of my colorings, guys. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. And then you can go ahead and take a, let's see. So Pearly got hers today. That's good. And now I'm going to take the broad side of my blender pencil and I'm just going to hit that up a little bit. And then when I get to my streaks, I'll go ahead and use more of the point. So I'll tip up my blender pencil a little more. Zoom in. Notice too how I've smudged over that diagonal line a little bit with my, I've left that smudge, and then I've gone ahead and I'll color that corner back in. Now, I'm not scrubbing, and I can't emphasize this enough, guys. Do not scrub with your blender pencil. You damage the paper, it makes the coloring look bad. Okay, let me get that line back in. So, if you don't have a lot of embellishments, which some people don't, this is a great way to add on. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting rid of that rough, bumpy look that my pencil put on here. Now, if you're trying to color in a border and you're dealing with issues such as Parkinson's and your hand wiggles a little bit, so what? I wiggled right here, make it part of your design. I don't want anyone to be discouraged from coloring if they have an issue such as that. All right, let me roll this backwards. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. So we've got a nice brown border to complement this. I was thinking about making it black because that'll pick up what's in the cardinal and a little bit in the apple. All right, let me check something here. Okay, now you guys know that I have these add-ons. I really should just put my bumblebees and my, hello Rhonda, my bumblebees and my ladybugs together. Hopefully they won't fight. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Oh, even better. They're separated. I love it. Rhonda has entered the room. I think that's pretty cool that they separated these. So I'm going to get my teeniest, tiniest bumblebee. And I'm just going to get one. Can't decide where I want to put it. Tammy, hello. I have 3 sizes of these little puppies. Now, what do I always tell you with add-ons? Somebody tell me. And you're welcome to use my exact words. Just go ahead and do 2, says Wanda. Oh, on the hat. Oh, Angela and Wanda say on the hat. Okay. We can do that. Rhonda is right. I say don't get stupid with it. That's right. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, Melba says that I mentioned Parkinson's. My husband had Parkinson's. If you shake often, try putting a metronome app on your phone. I would put it on and place my phone close to him at night. No more shakes. Really? How cool is that? Okay, well, there you go. I don't want anyone to be barred from enjoying adult coloring. Either you watch or you participate, but let's overcome that and have some joy. Okay, guys, so I'm going to put that little bumblebee thingy on my piece. I'll be getting back to my pirate in a moment. Oh my gosh, and guys, this is why I so love this live group, because if somebody can help you like Melba with the Parkinson's, that's great. Angela Johnson says, yes, I once had a jacket and trousers that had a stripe of flowers down the sleeve and the leg, and when I wore it, I had bees landing on the flowers. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that quick story. We had at a house that we owned, we had a bird feeder and some wasps took over it. No. Wasps for bees. Hi, Tammy. And I had on perfume and a floral dress. Guess what happened? Hubby thought that was hysterical. I mean, obviously he was protecting me and stuff, but oh my gosh, it was funny. Okay, bumblebee on the flower, on the hat. Didn't get stung, Rhonda. I was lucky. Okay. So I'm just taking my toothpick and I'm just going to pull off just the excess. But this glue is absolutely wonderful that it dries ridiculously clear. So I'm really not too worried about it at all, really. I don't know, maybe that's just the tidy in me. Oh my gosh, how is everybody today? Tell me something fun and positive that happened to you. Wanda got her Brett Funners, so she's enjoying those. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so totally done. Wanted to show you the brown border on this. and the little bumblebee added on the flower. Okay? Got the bumblebees from Amazon. They are on the affiliate list. Welcome to everybody that's new. Don't be shy about saying hello or commenting or whatever. We believe in equal opportunity abuse. Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh, I love it. Hello, Sandy. All right, anybody have any questions or comments about this piece? Grayscale. Adorable Animals Grayscale. Jane Maday. Excellent book, tons of colorings, and she's got examples of everything that's colored in the back so you can look. Okay, Pirate. ILene, how do we enter Dawn's contest? All right, you go up to the files at the top of the group. So scroll up to the top, it says files. There's file folders in there. She has created a folder. Yeah, I know it was contest. She's created a folder for the contest, and that's where you put your finished piece. Just click on the files at the very top and you'll see it. Now, Rhonda, that's how you get the file. But if you want to put your finished piece up, you've got to go into albums. And when you go into albums, you will see a folder called Duet Coloring Event. Okay. Let's work on our pirate. I love my little pirate. All right, Melba, you out of here? Later, 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 later gator, later alligator. After a while, crocodile. And for all our new people, also, please create an album and put in pictures that represent you and tell your story. I've got my cats in there and Vicky. Okay, alcohol markers. We go ahead and put a piece of paper behind that. Angela, BRB means be right back. I ask people to let me know when they step away so that I'm not talking to you and you're not here. Okay. So last night I was working on the bird, and I showed you the different alcohol markers that I used. Sure, you're welcome, Angela. And now I'm going to pop in there and work on a little bit of shading. Yeah, you guys are the best. You're very polite to each other. You help each other. All right, so I'm going to take gray, not black. And we're going to start to shadow up the bird a little bit. Zoom in. And we're going to start creating some depth with this little guy. And you guys know I'm all about depth. Now, I could be using a dark blue. That would work as well. But if you do decide to use a gray, for example, you've got to be very, very light with it. And you'll start to see the really beautiful contours that start to come out because of this. So when one thing is laying on the other, like these feathers are overlapped each other, we're going to pop in between those a little bit. Somebody tell me why you add a darker color to the outside of something. This is a teaching group, that's why I ask these questions. Rhonda says depth and definition. Exactly. Give that lady a gold star. See, I'm going to have to start getting a chart out and put and then Angela says to deepen something. Yep. I am barely touching the paper, guys. And I'm putting my little touch of gray where something overlaps something else. So just like I was putting the darker colors in the petals, I'm doing it under with the feathers. Zoom out. Now, you could also do this with your markers if you want, is to come in with either your same marker that you put the blue on or something a little bit darker. And go ahead and add that little bit of shadow. And I don't want you adding this shading willy-nilly. I want you to add it with purpose. That's why I explain everything that I do in my broadcasts. So under every feather here, I'm going ahead and adding a touch of the gray. Now, like I said, depending on the look that you want, I could have very easily done with a darker blue, and that's fine. You can experiment with both looks. Oopsie, made an oopsie. Okay. And for anybody that's new, if you have any questions, ask, speak up. That's why I'm live. And notice now how I'm working around this wing to make the shadow for that as well. And again, I don't want you applying the shadow willy-nilly, okay? In other words, follow your curves. Wanda, do the girls feel better now? Follow your curves. And your shadows all the way through. And this is where you're going to be picking which feathers lay on top of which ones. And don't forget, always turn your pencil when you pick up your pencil. Keeps your point sharp. Everybody see now the overall difference here of the shading. Look at the difference between here and here. And if you want to, see how I pulled up this extra line right here? That's my doing and not the author. Once you start getting to the point that you feel that you know what you're doing, you're going to find that you're adding these extra things. And I don't want you to be afraid to do that. For those of you that have copiers, copy a portion of the page. If you have this book, and experiment with it. Everybody notice now how the bird is starting to have some terrific dimension. And that would be Vicky saying hello. Okay. Now notice that I didn't do the gray on the yellow. There's a reason for that. If I were to put the gray on the yellow, that would be way too much of a color shift. So I'm going to go ahead and use a gold pencil to shade that and shadow that. I should be saying shadow, not shade. Okay, so I'm deciding that this feather's laying on top of that one. And now I'm going to go back with my blender pencil. And very, very lightly I'm going to go ahead and now blend that gray in. Zoom in. And remember, I've warned you about this before, is sometimes when you put a color pencil on paper, when you go to blend it in, it's going to change color. So this gray that I'm putting in, that I put in, is getting noticeably, what, darker, okay? And as you work with your pencils and get to know them, you'll know what colors will do what. And if you're not sure, do it on a piece of scrap paper. And remember, I could have shaded in blue as well, but for this particular project, I chose the grays. I would say 95% of the time you're going to shade in the color that you colored. And then sometimes you're going to shade with gray. Okay. Now, you may not like the way that I'm shading this particular piece, which is fine. Do it to your own taste. I'm just showing you the method on how to do it. Okay. Zoom out. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Now, another thing that you can do to add a little extra kick to your piece, and this is why you don't use black. Is you can go in now and use zoom in, a little bit of black for either even further definition, but be sure that you blend it out. Everybody see how all of a sudden that is creating now a definitive line. And again, this is why I did not use black when I was doing this, putting on the gray. Everybody see the difference? And notice that I'm blending it out. Okay. Now, I particularly want to emphasize the shoulder, so that's why I'm using this black up here and not really using it anywhere else. Yes, the bird is wearing a hat. It's pretty cool. Okay. And then just clean up any smudge overs that you have. I'm going to do the hat next. Okay, now Pearly, you wanted me to use chalk, right? Was it chalk or eyeshadow that you wanted me to use? Okay. Zip. Zoom out. Zoom out. Chalks. Okay. Now, this is where some people will say to themselves, oh, I messed up this, oh, I messed up that. Guys, this isn't the time. It really isn't. Stop making judgments on your segments. Sandy is back. Okay. Good. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so we're going to do a nice blue on the hat. Using my alcohol markers. And don't forget that last night I told you that your alcohol markers are going to spread a little bit. So you have to find that point where you know how close you can go to the edge, and your marker will fill in the rest of it. So here's a good example. Zoom in. Let's see if I can do this for you. Is I need to figure out how close I can go to these little buttons without going over the edge. You see that? And as you can see, I'm a teeny tad way out. An 1/8 of an inch away, maybe a 1/16. And when I put that marker down, it absorbs into the paper and then goes closer to the edge. Everybody see that? Okay. Whoop, hold on. Closer view, I don't have too much wiggle room. So I am barely touching this paper. Zoom out. There you go. Zoom out. So we've got a nice blue there. I'm not going to worry about this light portion up at the top. And you can see I have a little bit of a light portion right here. And I'm going to capitalize on that with my pencil. So before you get all bent out of shape because your marker didn't quite go down the way that you expected, if something happens with it that you say, hey, I think that would look cool, use it. Okay. And now I'm going to use a darker blue on the rim. Zoom in. This will be a little touchy because it's narrow. But once again, as soon as you figure out how far your marker seeps, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now, and I also want you to think about something about when you're coloring. Your heart rate is going to affect how steady your hand is. And so if you color and you're slightly agitated or out of breath for some reason or upset, you know, whatever the reason may be, and your heart rate is up a little bit, it can very easily affect your coloring. And I know that sounds obvious, but some people don't think about that. So if you need to relax, if you drink a lot of caffeine, that may affect you as well. Okay, darker blue pencil. Now, I noticed that a number of you, when you're coloring your seams like this, you're coloring the seam dark and you're not blending it out. So you've got like a dark line and that's it. You can't do that, guys. You got to get lighter and lighter as you come out. Now, I'm also going to add just a little bit of a crease right here at the top. Up to you if you want to add that. And depending on the pencil brand you're using, you may have to blend it in a little bit. And this is another consideration for you. Some pencils work well with markers, some don't. And also don't forget that when you're looking at my pieces, you're looking at my pieces close up. So they're going to look a little rough because you're seeing everything that happens with the paper. But when you look at it at a distance, it looks really good. Zoom out. So I'm going to blend next to my curve a little bit. And I'm also going to blend up my white. Zoom out. Okay. Okay. Now let me tidy up a little bit. Got a little bit of blue on that white. And guys, let me know if you're having any problem with my background music. I actually got rid of the harpsichord segment because I think that was bugging a couple people. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and work up the bird beak. Now, everything that I'm doing here now, I'm starting to do in relation to each other. And it's giving me a really good feel for the entire piece. I'm just blending this blue a little bit. I'm taking a lighter blue and smoothing this out. Zoom in. Much better. There we go. Excuse my arm. Whew, looking good. Okay, buttons. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, and as you can see, I did get a little bit of that marker on the buttons here. Now, what you can do if you have done that is go ahead and take your Prismacolor white and put it on top. There you go. Fixed. All right. Dark gold on the one side. Now I want these all the same. Remember one time I was talking about petals and I said don't do one element all the way through, do them individually? This is the reason why. I want this the same. So there's my dark gold. Excuse my arm. Let me sharpen this. Oh, hold on. I'm having problems with this one point. Okay, then I'm going to do a little medium right here. I'm still doing a backward C. So I'm doing the medium in front of my dark part. And again, if your pencils are kind of crumbly, don't worry about it. That's why I use my brush. And then use a little bit of light here. And we have some pretty neat looking buttons. Now I've got a little bit that got over, so I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and I just scrape that off. There we go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Pretty nifty looking buttons on our parrot. Okay. I think what I'm going to do, I was going to leave that band white. I think we're going to classy up that hat a little more. Zoom in. I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to go in with my medium color here, because remember I had my darker brownish gold, my medium, which is what I have, and then my yellow. And then I'm going to use my darkest gold. Look how pretty that's going to be. So this is a quick and dirty way how to do gold. I think we just made this parrot an admiral. Zoom out. Oh, how cool does that look? I almost feel like I should salute him. Okay. So let's work on our beak a little bit. Oh. La da da dum. Now, I know our parrot's looking a little wonky at the moment, but again, you got to remember it's all contextual. And that means as I get other pieces in here colored, everything's going to really make sense. So I'm going to color the beak white. And the reason that I'm doing that is because that lays down a wax base for me to do some other things with this. Don't forget that little trick, guys. If you know that you're going to be doing blending in an area, throw some white on it. And then I'm going to take a very light gray and bring a little bit of that gray down. And actually, I boo-booed a little bit here. Excuse me. Zoom in. I'm going to put some white on here. And we'll get a little bit of our gray shading on here. Now, totally up to you what color you want to make that beak. What I would do is look on some pictures and see. I'm just scraping away the little bit of pencil that got on the outside there. And look at beak colors and see what you like. I don't want anything flashy for the beak because we're flashy with the feathers. Okay, and then I'm going to take a darker gray yet, and I'm going to shade right next to the feathers. And bring that down a little bit. And then to blend it, I'm just going to go back over it very lightly with my white. See how cool that looks? Okay. Now we've got the bottom of the beak as well, which is basically the bottom of the mouth. So I'm going to cover that in white. That's going to give me my base. And then I'm going to blend in my light gray. Brush. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of, thank you Angela. Yeah, I'm just going to go just a little bit of my dark gray here. Just a little bit. And you can touch it with your white if you want to smooth that out. There. Now I've got a little bit of this blue on my skin around the eye. So I'm going to touch that up with my white pencil. Any area that you have a little bit of seepage over with your markers, for example, touch it up with your white pencil. Didn't know you could do that, huh? And then I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and go right around his eye right here. And then I'm going to take my black pen and I'm going to make that black a little blacker. So in other words, I'm making the printing ink of the book darker. Much better. There you go. Love it. And if you want to, you can go ahead and touch up the eye itself around the outside. And that's going to make that eye a little bit more visible. Zoom out. So we've got that showing up just a little bit more. And if it's too much, you go back. You can always go back once your ink dries and put a little colored pencil over it. But see, right now I'm just highlighting the outside of that whole eye feature. So this whole white area, I'm going ahead and taking my pen and putting the black back in. There, see that? Questions, comments? Okay. Da-da. And be sure you let your ink dry before you brush it. Ask me how I know about that. My regulars know how I always end up smearing my black ink. Okay. Let's do some beard here. Oh. Gosh, that's looking good. Actually, I'm going to change. Wait 1 second. Da, 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 da. This little piece of leather that's going into his hair, zoom in. We're going to make that a reddish, brownish leather. Zoom in. So there's my red. Lots of popcorn on that. And now I'm going to go over it with my brown. And I'm sorry, excuse me, this is a reddish brown. It's not a brown, it's a reddish brown. So it's mostly red with brown in it. Now, when you've gone over a small area like that, two layers, and that's not smoothing out, then we go ahead and we pop out our blender pencil. And now we're going to push those two colors together. Everybody see how much better that looks. Zoom out. So Rhonda says, ILene, I feel the nights are a bit above my skill set. Okay. But I find if I tackle a small section at a time, it helps. Good. Yep, just a little tip. Exactly. And Rhonda is motivating and pushing herself into doing a little more difficult pieces at a time. She learned how to do silver the other day on the bucket. And thank you for the tip. I'm really glad that you are putting that out there in the room. Okay, now we've got to go in and add some depth to this tie. It's a leather twine around the hair. And notice, for example, I'm doing the shading on either side of this little piece right here. Zoom in. All right, see this little piece right here? I'm going to do shading on either side. And the second that I do that, that pops it right up there. And Rhonda is doing exactly what she's doing, should be doing, is that as she is feeling accomplishment at one level, she's pushing herself to the next level. Zoom out. All right, everybody see now how we have a dimensional look on our braid here. I alternated up and down, up, down, up, down. And we've got a cool looking hairpiece. Okay, now this ring here, is being shown as solid. Zoom in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the hair through it. And I'm going to make that a ring just like this one. So if you come up on a piece that you are not sure what it is, make a decision and go with it. All right. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right, I'm going to do a little ink work on this beard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade some of these areas that are underneath hair. And Rhonda, you are doing exactly what you should be doing. And as you do your areas, you're going to feel inspired because one area is going to lead you to the next. Okay, notice how I'm... Oh, Rhonda, okay, and it may be a mess, but you've got several copies. You can try it again. But you're still doing what you should be doing, regardless of whether it turns out to be a mess or not. Okay, so notice how I'm enhancing portions of the hair. You can either do this with pen or just do it with your pencil. Zoom in. But Rhonda, don't start using the negative talk. And notice that I'm darkening the hair, excuse me, the beard, where it either would be next to something or it's laying underneath something. Rhonda, do you think that our athletes in Tokyo, when they go to do their event, that they're thinking, I may fail at this, I may fail at this, I may fail at this? No. Zoom in. That negative talk is going to defeat you. When I'm coloring something on camera, I don't sit here thinking, I may screw it up, I may screw it up. Okay. So I'm going to add my second color here. But see, that's the thing though, is that if you are afraid of messing it up, that's going to undermine your confidence. Any picture that you decide you do, you shouldn't be looking at saying, oh, I could screw this up. You should be looking at it and saying, well, let's see, I could try this, this, this. Okay. I mean, look at Angela. She practiced on 3 of the scarecrow. And she knew where she wanted to do better, and she did. And hers turned out beautifully. Zoom out. Angela, what was your mindset when you were doing that scarecrow? What were you thinking? Okay. Oh yay, Angela said she just finished the little guy trying out the border now. Cool. I'm not kidding, Angela. When I looked at yours, I thought that was mine for a second. That was my knee-jerk response to looking at your piece. And you know that I don't say things just to say things to people. Okay, we're going to work with some black hair. And I'm going to go in and start it. Stephanie, hello. I'm going to start it with a color called sepia, which is it's a dark gray. So Angela said, just thought I should try again and get better. Yep. Thank you, ILene. No, if I needed improvement, you would say so. Hope I got the rest of it right. Okay. And by right, we mean technique right. I'll tell you what, Angela, your apples were really outstanding. Okay, so I'm starting in here with Faber-Castell Polychromos Dark Sepia. This is not black. And guys, when you're doing black hair, you don't put down black pencil. Yeah, good teaching works wonders, exactly. Okay, now I've got that teeny tiny ring in there. I'm going to try and keep it intact. Angela, my pleasure. Da-da. So for those of you who don't know this, black hair, you don't come in with a black pencil and just color it black. That's not the way to do it. In order for your hair to look really great, you want to come in with different shades of colors. So I'm not using black, I'm using a sepia color. And I'm not pressing down hard at all. Hello, Rebecca. Rebecca. You guys remember a while back when I did that Christmas mailbox with that wreath hanging off of it? Do a keyword search on mailbox and watch that series and scrub through your video until you get to the part where I did the mailbox, and you'll see that there's black and blue in there. Excuse me, sorry. Boy, I've had a low-grade headache for the last, not today, but yesterday and about 2 days prior to that. So for about 3 days I've had a low-grade headache. I don't know why. Just feeling bleh. I may have to go in and get a COVID test. We'll see. But only because I've been around one person and he is at the moment choosing not to be vaccinated. And I've had my vaccine, so Yeah, I was running a little warm one day, but I've been fine ever since. I mean, I feel a lot better today. Okay, notice how I'm coloring in the direction of the image, right? Always do that, guys, because that will help you with your shading. Oh, my little buglet wants to help me get out of here. Yeah, I did get vaccinated. Okay, now zoom out. Okay, using my same pencil, I'm going to darken a little bit on some of my areas to highlight. So notice how I color each end of the hair. It gives that center portion a little light. Okay, notice now how you're seeing the different shades of the black. So Angela says, yesterday I had bad chest pain while I was watching church on video. I asked them for prayer, and within minutes, the pain had gone. Doc told me I had an enlarged heart, so I was a little worried, but all is good now. Oh, excellent. Angela, please tell your doctor, though. Just report in and tell him. Okay, everybody see how I'm working up this black, guys? Again, I'm using a sepia color. It's not a pure black, all right? Okay. Now, I'm going to get a dark blue. Give me a moment here. I'm not blended or anything yet. There we go. I've got a dark blue. This happens to be a Brett Funner. It's called a Bijou Blue. Bijou, B-I-J-O-U. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to blend in your blue with the sepia. Now, you may think that that's a little wonky. But there is blue in black hair. And when you put that blue in, it adds the right shade. Now, it's going to go in very lightly because we're not turning the hair blue, right? We want our hair to be the black. Now, my blue is going to show up a little bit because I haven't done my blending yet. So bear with me. This is one of those things where the in-between steps don't look like your finished piece. And that's what throws people sometimes. Zoom in. Zoom in. When I went to Japan, I had the opportunity to, I love interacting with people. And I had a lot of opportunity to talk with the Japanese in English. They're always interested in practicing their English. And I was standing with a young lady out in the sunlight, and I could see, their hair is black, but you could see beautiful, beautiful shades of blue in it in the sunlight. And the best way that you are going to learn about coloring is to know things like this, when to mix, for example, blue with black. And this is why I tell you that when you're coloring something, you've got to quit coloring it one flat color, okay? And this is why I've been walking you guys through these grayscale examples. If you want to learn line art coloring, master grayscale coloring, which is not hard. And again, I am so proud of you guys, how you are pulling off your pieces. And if you want to copy me, stroke by stroke, to learn, that's fine. And then develop your own style. Like I said, I looked at Angela's piece, and for a split second, I thought it was mine. And I thought, wait a minute, I finished mine. Angela, I'm so proud of you. Rhonda, I'm so proud of you. Wanda, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you. And if you guys post something and I make a suggestion and you get your nose bent out of shape, this may not be the group for you. This is a teaching group. Now, I can't get to everybody's, but I sure try. Okay. Zoom out. Look how black that's starting to look. Everybody see that? Okay, blender pencil, very lightly. Zoom in. Zoom in. And this is why I also appreciate it when you guys, when something comes up that you think is neat or important, just get my permission to post it. Rhonda asked me if she could post that article about the recolor, about not being safe for kids. Oops, erased off some of my color. Oopsie. Okay. Do you guys remember when I put that holographic stuff on the eyes to make them shine? That wasn't my idea. That was Stacy's. And she said, hey, ILene, how about putting some of that cellophane on the eyes? I was talking about the cellophane I'd purchased. And I thought, heck yes. And so now I do that. And I show it to you guys. Now, again, guys, don't over blend or else you're going to lose everything. You're just going to have one pile of mush. But do you guys see how these colors now are coming through? And remember, your blending pencil pushes that pigment around from the wax, from your pencil, and you are pushing it into the crevices of your paper. Because what has happened, if you've read that article that I posted in announcements for you so you could learn about that, is that the wax from your pencils is sitting on top of your paper. And different kinds of paper accept different kinds of pencils different ways. So when you ask me what kind of pencils I like, that's hard for me to answer because I don't know what coloring books you have, I don't know what kind of paper you have, I don't know what you print out on. I can tell you in general what I like. Now, one of the sets that I have is Cool Banks. I would not ever replace them again. Oh, is that beard looking great? And again, don't scrub your blending. Don't go over the same area multiple times if you can help it. Now, on this very bottom here, I do have to go sideways because I can't go up and down easily without tearing the edge of the paper. So this is the only time that you'll ever see me do it, is when I'm working on the edge like this of a piece. I don't want to be scrubbing up and down and rip my paper. There we go. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right. Now, if you want to go ahead and add a little bit of white now, on the curves, you can go ahead and do that. But just do it sparingly, judiciously. And if you've got some areas that are still a little popcorny, take your pencil. I'm using my black here, and just hit those little areas. Sometimes it just happens. questions on how I'm doing this. And what you're left with by doing the sepia color and the blue is a beautiful, beautiful, rich black. Okay. Cool beans. Zoom out. We're getting there. All right. Pearly is still with us. Did Pearl leave and I didn't see her go? Oh, I hope not. Okay. La-da-dum, da-dum. Let me grab some water. There we go. All right. So I think I'm going to work on the scarf, which is right here. La-da-da-dum. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. So when you put pencil over watercolor markers, can you still use blender pencil? Yeah, lightly, very lightly. Hi, Linda. Oh, just got up from a nap today. Bad day today. Oh, so sorry, Linda. Well, Linda, sit back with something to drink and relax and watch us color. Okay, so I'm going to work on his scarf. Okay. Oh, you think it's partly from the 90-degree plus heat wave we're having? I wouldn't be surprised at all. So let's go ahead and get his scarf. Zoom in. Now, when you're coloring in your pencils and you get that popcorn effect, one of the ways to get rid of it is to just color in little circles. With the pencil that you're using. So if you intended a lighter color than what you have to do in order to get rid of that popcorn, that's where you can use your blender pencil and not have to color in so dark. But that's where you'll get used to what your pencils do when you color. So notice how I'm coloring in little circles here to get rid of that popcorn effect. And as I've told you before, a way to do that too is to change direction with your pencil. Color in little circles. Don't just keep going back and forth all the time. Okay, so let's roll you around here. Have any of you colored this page already? Don't forget to turn your pencil as well. And notice how I'm getting a nice, clean and clear coloring. Okay, Sandy says no. Angela says don't have this book. Okay. I was just curious if anybody else has done it. If you've colored it, would love to see your posting of it. Rhonda says don't have this book. It's a relatively expensive one. That's kind of the problem. Zoom out. I'm going to do just a touch of blending here, just to even out a few spots. Sometimes I blend after I put the initial color down. Sometimes I blend after I've put in the second color. And the way that I make that decision is, if I'm going to add another green to this to change the overall color, I would wait to blend the two together like I did with the hair. But what I'm going to be doing now is putting in some shading on this scarf. So that's why I need this to be blended. Make sure you understand the difference. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a deeper green, and I'm going to start to shadow in. My colors. Now notice how I went to the left of this one a little bit, which creates that little ridge. And shadow in a little bit up here, shade. Shade in here. And we'll get that really neat layered look. And then I'm going to put a little bit of shadow under his ear. Zoom in. Zoom in. And we'll go ahead and pop in just a little bit under the bird. Because all good sailors should have their bird perched on their shoulder. All right. And I may just darken these lines just a little bit, so I'm going to stay right on top of them. I'm not putting a shadow on. I'm just giving them a little oomph. Trust me, guys, as you start to color, you know, you follow along with what I'm doing, and you start to see what you're producing. And once you develop those skills, then you're going to be set to go for other pieces. Angela did that with the scarecrow. Rhonda did it with the scarecrow. And once you go through it a couple times and understand what you're looking for and what you're trying to achieve, you'll have a great piece. There we go. Zoom out. Doesn't that look like a neat folded scarf? Cool. Oh, you didn't do... I'm sorry, Rhonda. I was thinking that you did the scarecrow. Excuse me. I'm thinking of the boat scene that you did. The warehouse and the boats on the water that I did in charcoal. Oh, man. Isn't that neat? Zoom out. Everybody see how this is starting to come together now? We are coming together. Okay. Missed a little bit with the black hair. Thank you, Wanda. So I've got my black, and then I'm going to put my blue in there. Blue, blue, blue. And if you get, I'm going to blend it, and if you get too much blue in there, then you pop a little more. Oh, and excuse me, I didn't use black, I used the sepia black. There we go. Now we got that done right. Okay. And again, guys, if you get a little bit of your marker over the edge on something, just cover it with some white pencil. Again, I use the Prismacolor white. I think that's the best white. But you guys need to decide for yourselves. Okay, so we've got that cleaned up. All right, one more segment here. It's 10 to 10. And I think I noticed a little coloring boo-boo here. I should have colored this collar the same as I did. Well, let me see something here. All right, let me think about this a moment. All right, bear with me here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. This rest of this coat needs to be the gray. Zoom in. And remember, keep your marker a little bit away from your edges. and then I've got my little corner up here. There we go. Okay, now the shirt will be a slightly different color, so this will be the jacket that the pirate has on top of the shirt. I'm not going to do the shirt yet, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go with a green on top of here, this buckle area. In other words, I changed my mind that I don't want that to be gray. In this case, I can get away with it because the gray was a lighter gray. So we can go ahead and pop that on top. My bad. And then I'm going to, ooh, I think you're going to like this. Hang with me here. I'm going to go with a leathery color here. And then you'll see where what I'm thinking here. Pretty. This will make sense in 2 seconds here. I think this is the biggest color correction you guys have seen me make. But that's okay. If you have the tools to do it with, have at it. And when you post your picture, You can talk about it and say, hey, I made such and such this color, decided that it was wrong, and went with this color. Now, okay, Angela, I'm going to be on for about probably 10 minutes at the most. I'm going to darken this right here using my same marker. I want that streaky, leathery look. So notice how I've toned that. All right, now. Good night, Angela. There we go, found it. And now to match that belt that's on there, I'm going to take a slightly different shade of a brown and I'm going to color the outside. Which gives me this nice brown complementary look. Almost done, peeps. Okay, now I'm going to hit my little cross pieces here as well with the color. Again, guys, a 1/16 of an inch away from your edge. Let your marker bleed naturally. And that way your edges will be crisper. All right, one more spot and then I'm done. Ooh, it's just 10 o'clock now. All right, we're good. Zoom out. Look at that, guys. Isn't that cool? So I've got his shirt to do yet. I've got the buckle to do. I'll do the little pins here. Much better than making all of this gray. Don't be afraid to make a correction if you can get away with it. All right. Any questions or comments before I wrap up? Zoom out. So I'm still very happy with this piece too. Zoom out. Zoom out. Pull you up just a little bit so you can see both. So we got our little bee on top of the sunflower, on top of the hat with the border. And we've got our pirate that we're slowly working on and getting him done. Okay, guys. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Joyous, joyous, joyous coloring, guys. Love you guys. Keep on being nice to each other like you are. I'm so proud of you in this group. We're gaining, did you guys know that we're gaining a big reputation because of that, because of the way we treat each other? Good night, Stephanie. Glad you could make it. All right, guys. This is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. We are working on our pirate. I'm having too good of a time doing this for you. And I hope you're learning something. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.